When I was teaching in the classroom, I can't tell you how many times students would say, my parents just don't listen to me. They just don't understand. And then when I would have parent teacher conference, parents would say, you know what? They just won't talk. I just can't make them talk. And so it made me realize that both wanted to communicate. The parents wanted to communicate with their kids, and the kids wanted their parents to communicate with them, but they just didn't know how. And so today in this video, I'm going to share with you 8 effective ways to be able to talk to your teen, your middle schooler, even your grade schooler, so that they'll want to communicate. And so you, as a parent, can start that dialogue with them. So, being a parent, as I've said before, it's one of the hardest jobs there is. And you're constantly evolving and learning and growing as a parent when you're parenting your children. And so today I just want to talk about some of the ways to encourage your child to talk because kids really do want to talk to someone. They really do want to talk to someone. And the most ideal person for them to talk to would be their parent. And so, one of the first ways that parents can encourage their child to talk to them is to actively listen, to actively listen to them. And how do you do this? Well, first of all, you stop doing whatever you're doing. If you're texting, stop texting. If you're looking at TV, stop looking at TV. If you're on the computer, stop being on the computer. Give them your undivided attention. Make sure that you are present with them. Just think about it. How many times have you were trying to talk to someone and they were busy doing something else? And how frustrating that was, and how it would make you actually want to stop talking. I know that's happened to me many a times with my husband. I'll be talking to him about something that I thought was very important, and he's watching TV, particularly sports. And he's like, Lois, I'm listening to you. And I can tell by how intently he's staring at the TV, he's not listening to me. And I would say it, well, why aren't you looking at me? Why are you staring at the TV? Because when you don't look at someone and you say that you're listening to them, they don't believe it. So the first thing for your child is if you want them to believe that you're listening to them, then you need to actively listen to them, actively be present in what they're talking about. The next thing is that when they are talking, to make sure that you understand what they're saying, repeat what you heard them say. Oh, so it sounds like you're saying that you were upset when you didn't get XYZ, or upset when this happened. When you repeat it, it makes sure that you understand what they're talking about. And that, once again, lets them know that you're listening to them because you actually repeated or paraphrase what they said. The next one, don't downplay what they're saying. Don't downplay it as if it's not important. Oh, that's nothing. Oh, you can get over that. Well, if they're saying it's important, don't downplay how they feel about it. I often use the analogy that if someone stepped on your foot and you said, ouch, and they said to you, oh, that didn't hurt, that would be crazy, wouldn't it? Because it's your foot. And it's the same thing for you to say to them, oh, that's not that big of a deal. To them, it is. Remember, at that age, a lot of things that at your age as an adult, that's not a big deal. It's a big deal to them. I remember when I was working at the school, and one of the students, he had I guess he thought he was going to be the king or queen for the prom. And they chose his girlfriend as the queen, but they didn't choose him as the king. And he was very upset about it. Very upset about it. And some of the adults was like, why is he getting all bent out of shape? Because that was something that's very important to them. The child tells you that something is important. Don't downplay it. Remember, their cognitive age where they're at, that's very important. Their peers are very important. Appearances are very important. So don't downplay what they're telling you. Number 4, don't judge or interject your thoughts into what they're saying. Don't say, oh, wait a minute now, this is what I think you should do. Don't do that, because once you start judging them or telling them what they should do, they're going to shut down. Again, remember when you're talking to someone. I know that happens to me. If I'm telling someone a story and they jump in before I can finish and start giving me their advice, and it makes me want to stop talking. Because I figure, again, you're not listening to me. You're trying to get your point across. And that's another thing sometimes people do is when someone starts talking, you start coming up with a solution already. And you haven't even let them finish talking. You start coming up with this in your mind already, what you're going to say, and you stop really listening to them. So don't judge or interject what you think it should be. Number five, when they do start talking to you, ask permission. Well, is it okay if I share this? Do you want to hear some of my thoughts about this? Or how can I help you? What is it that you need from me? Ask them. Don't start volunteering things. And this is so important for teens because they want to still maintain a sense of control over the situation. They don't want it to be like they can't handle it. So when you ask them, you know what? You want to hear some of my advice? Some of the things that I think might help you? You're asking their permission. Now, if it's a safety issue, if it's something that's detrimental to your child, you let them know that, you know what, because I care about you and I'm concerned about you, I need to maybe tell someone about it or whatever. If it's a safety issue, you want them to be safe. So that's something different. But just when they're talking about something that they're going through, you don't just jump in and just tell them what to do because that's what they're so used to, not being able to figure things out on their own, always feeling like you have to tell them what to do. Number six, if they don't want to talk, don't try to force them to talk. Oh, you better tell me what's going on. I know something is going on. You better tell me. That's going to make them shut down. Remember, you're trying to encourage conversation. You're trying to encourage them to open up. By trying to force them, it makes them not even want to say anything else. So say something to them like, well, when you're ready to talk, I'm here. Just let me know when you want to talk about it. Let them know that their door is open for them when they get ready to talk. Number seven, ask them, do you want to talk about your feelings? And this is important for like a lot of the middle school kids. Ask them, do you want to talk about your feelings and kind of let them out? Because sometimes kids just want to vent. Sometimes kids just want to vent. They don't want you to solve it for them. They just want to say just how they feel. So you want to say, do you just want to talk to me about my feelings? So then when they say yes, now you know they're really not looking for an answer. They just want to release something. And that's okay. Sometimes when you say, do you want to talk about your feelings, that may get them to talking. And once they get to talking, then they'll start the process of telling you what's going on. Sometimes when people just says, I'm sad. Well, what are you sad about? Well, I'm sad because this happened. And then now you got the conversation started. Again, waiting till they want to talk about it and they'll let you know. And number eight, pay attention to their nonverbal communication. You can still listen to them by watching their behavior. Did their attitude change? Are they being withdrawn? Are they staying in the room? Do they complain about their stomach hurting or their head hurting? They don't have a medical condition, but things are bothering them. I remember my son, when he was going through, him and his girlfriend had broken up, and I didn't know they broke up, but I noticed that he was acting different. And I would tell him, you know, it seems like there's something going on because, you're very quiet or you're not eating very much. Is everything okay? And so just by me noticing his behavior, I knew that something was going on with him. And so then that got him to talking because, again, I'm trying to open up communication, allowing him to be able to start the conversation, not being demanding, not judging, not trying to force him, but just allowing him to have the conversation. So those are some of the things that I had, that how you can encourage conversation with your child. Because again, kids want their parents to hear them. They want to have this conversation. And parents want to have that conversation with their child, but sometimes they just don't know how to start it. And so hopefully these tips today will give you a start to be able to start open communication with your child. Here's another video that's going to help you on that road to having wonderful communication with your child.